Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Happy Wednesday. Today I'm going to be doing the next 4 stages. That's stages 21, 22, 23 and 24 of the Hachette Partworks release and build the U96 U-Boat. And as you can see today, look, we've got a hardback book, which is cool. I'll look at that in a second. Just so you know, where's Space Station gone? Actually, where's all the toys gone and stuff that I've had there over there? I'm actually going for a stage of remodelling at the moment. So I am going to move things around. I'm thinking of putting Vincent over here and moving the Optimus Prime into my lounge. I think that'll look good in the lounge. We'll figure something out there. Also, the Space Station, the reason for this move looks really good there. So good that where the weather's been hot, my stand gave way. The good thing is the space station is absolutely fine, but I am just remodeling a new stand made out of wood. So if you're wondering where that space station has only been there for one day it's actually, look, it's over there at the moment, just sitting waiting for its new stand to come. So that's that. Now today we're going to be doing, as I said, stages 21 to 24. I believe we're doing some of the crew decks again, but I was very shocked to receive this. Let me have a look at this. As you see, this is a hardback book, and it's got loads of history about the U-boats, looking just like this. Now, I wasn't aware that we're getting this as a free gift, so this was a nice surprise to actually see this come through. But that's looking just like that, and that was delivered with me. Obviously, I had the first 5 packs, so this was delivered on the 6th pack, I believe, something like that. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I don't know if this is available. I've got a funny feeling you can get an early starter for it, so I think it is, but I have put a link in the video description, and there's also a QR code on the screen, but we're going to jump straight into it, so without further ado, let's get cracking. So we're going to start with stage 21, and we're going to be doing the forward crew quarters. And that means getting my ultra sharp sprue cutters out here, because I need to cut these parts from the sprue. And quite simply, they're just going to go onto these bunks here. So we're going to have one going in there, one going in here, and one just going in here. Now we are going to be gluing these in. I just wanted to do a quick dry fit just to see how they're going to look. So let's get some glue on these. Now, the pins will hold them in, so all I'm going to do is put glue just into this center strip here. And because they lie flat, I don't really need to put glue on the ends. Don't want to risk it seeping out, you see. So it's just a case of putting them on like this and then pressing them down. So 1, 2, and 3. So bringing over the deck, which looks like this, we've got the sort of like corrugated floor here. We're going to be putting these onto the deck. Now we do have lugs here which are going to go onto the holes here. So this will be the first one going in just there. The second one does have sort of like an offset just in the middle there. So it's going to go this way round, probably best on the top camera. That's going to go next to it into these positions just here. And they do hold themselves in here, no problems at all. Put that to one side. And I've got this locker now to put in, and I do also have a room divider which needs to go in. This again is just a trial fit. It's going to go in like that, but it is going to need some glue. So this time I will put glue just around those lugs there. As a matter of fact, I could probably put glue inside this bit here. I think that would be a bit neater, like that. And make sure that when you put them in the right way. So the closed end is at the top, the open end's at the bottom. Now, one of the room dividers has already been put in for us, as you can see. That's handy. Well, it's not put in for us. Look, it's actually moulded that way. But we do have one last one to do here. So exactly the same way, this is going to be going onto there like that. I'm just going to glue this into place. And there we go, that one's in. So the one that's already been made for us, we are actually going to be putting the toilet bulkhead onto the back of this. Again, I'm just going to do a quick trial fit to see how that fits on there. It's going to look like that. And once again, I'm going to glue that into place. So now that is looking just like this. Now I've got some bunk rails already on here, so I'm going to need to snip these off. Now these do have some little pegs on each side, so I need to make sure I cut these off flush. So what I want to do is take these bed rails, put some glue at the bottom here, and just push them into these holes on this one here. There should be 2 sets of holes, so one there, and just one on this side. I'm going to make sure that they're in straight. And then in a similar way, I'm going to put some glue just on the tops of these. And I'm going to be putting the bulkhead into the other side. So these are going into the holes on the other side here. So there you go. That's in position just like that. So these are going to go into the slots just into the base here. So I'm just going to line them up and ensure that they're pushed in. Just doing a dry fit again. And that's how that should look when it's in. I'm going to just glue them into place. So then I've got one more set of rails here. Putting some glue on the end. And they're going to go into the hole here. And then this time I'm not only going to put some glue just on top of these. I'm just going to put some glue down the bottom here as well. Because this is going to be going next to this section here. And the rails are going to go into the two holes that we've got on this side. So now that is looking just like that. Make one more bunk up this time. A lot thinner this bunk is now. So that's just pushing this end down here. And this is going to be going on the ledge that we've got just here to actually make a bunk. So what I'll do, put some glue along that edge. And the other side. When you put this in, it sort of slides into place. So you don't just place it on top, you've got to slide that in. Just like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 22, we're going to be doing the commander's quarters. Let's get this open. So we're going to be adding to what we've created just on this section here. So I'm just going to be cutting some parts from this small sprue as well. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking the table first, looking like this. And I'm going to put some glue just on the lugs on the side there. Because this is going to be going into the side of this section here. So that's the table in there. Excellent. I've got some cupboards to put in here. So again, I'm just going to be putting a little bit of glue just into these holes here. And the cupboards are going to go this way round. Push that into place. So that's looking like that. And I put some glue just on this radio here. Tiny radio to go in. So that's looking like that. I've got two kinds of lamps here. I've got a hanging one, which is short, and a longer one here. It's the longer one I want next. That's just going to be going into the slot just here. So I've brushed some glue on that. I'm going to use my tweezers to help get this one in. Just like that there. Perfect. I'm then going to be taking this circuit breaker door, and this is just going to be going into the ingress there, like this. So again, more glue. I'm just going to ensure that sits flat at 90 degrees. And then let that dry. Now, this panel here is going to be going around this way into the holes here. So I'm going to get some glue into those. That's perfect. And then I'm just going to use my tweezers here to help get this fire extinguisher in, which is just going down the slot down the bottom here. Perfect. There you go. That's that in place as well. Now I thought this little bit was a lamp. It's not a lamp at all. It's actually a toilet roll holder. So I'm going to be putting this into place. This is tiny. Putting some glue on the lug. God, they've thought of everything on this, haven't they? We're working on this far side now. There we go. Here's the toilet roll holder into place. I'm then going to be closing the back section up with this whole wall system that's going in, which again means just putting some glue down the side of these lugs here, because it's the sides that's going to be holding these in. And I'll do the other sides as well. And then it's a case of pushing these into place. And there you go. That's all of the lugs all the way through. That's what the wall is looking like from that side. And then the last thing to do is to put in the toilet door, which looks like this. We do have two lugs on this side. So again, it's just a case of gluing those. 1, 2. I'm using very minimal glue on this build. You have to put the bottom tab in as well. And then that'll sit in perfectly just like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. There's a lot to do in stage 23. We've got the radio room. So lots of radio equipment in this one. So the first thing I need to take off are all the details on this sprue here. Now these are stools with 3 legs. So I'm just going to be putting some glue at the top just to put the top of the stool in place. And make sure it's sitting square. You don't want a wonky stool. That's looking good. Bring over what we've been working on, and the bottom of the stools are going to go into the 3 holes that we can see each side of what we've just been working on here. So that just means touching some glue on these 3 ends at the bottom and putting this into place. So that's 1, and that one's 2. There we go, we've got 2 stools in. Put that to one side, and I've got 2 tabletops here now to cut off. And these are going to be going onto the tops of each section here. They have got locating lugs, so we just need to line them up properly. For that reason, I am just going to be touching some glue just along the edges rather than where the lugs are going in. I'm just using the lugs to line up with. So that's one done. Let's do the other one. And as you can probably imagine, these are going to be going around the stalls. So again, I'm just going to be dropping some glue just on the sides of these lugs. And put one in there, and then just put the other one next to it. That's how that's looking. Very good. Now I'm going to be making the radio room door. So when I put them on my workstation, I want this facing in that direction. So one here and one here. And they are saying the correct way round these go should be the raised rectangle above the diamond. So the raised rectangle that I've got on this edge is on top, diamond on the bottom. Bring over the frame for that. We're going to be pinning this into place. So one's going in here. It's just a case of pushing this in like that. That's one door. Do the same on the other one. That's 2 doors. And as you can see, they can still open and close just like that. Put that to one side, and I'm bringing over this partition now. I've got some details to put in here, namely this large panel here. Put some glue just around these lugs here, because this is going to be going on top. And then on the bottom, I've got this rectangular panel here. Put some glue on these pegs, and that's just going to go into here with the circle section just facing upwards like that. Now the next detail is this one here. I'm going to show you what this looks like on the close-up. That looks like this. That's going to be going into the 2 slots that we've got there. Again, I'm just going to brush the tops of these with some glue, and then use my tweezers to help get this into place. Perfect. I then want this detail here, and that one's going to go over this square detail here. So that's in like that. Turn this over, because we've got some details to put in the other side. First one, this blank box with the rivets on the outside. Again, putting some glue just on these pins, because that's going in there. And there's a line on this. I'm putting my line towards this edge here. There's a little tiny line there. Then we've got this detail here. Put some glue on the lugs. That's just going into the slots here. Excellent. This detail here is going over the rectangle with the little black line on this towards the bottom. So that's what those 3 details look like. Now I want this dial here, which has got a hollow back. I'm going to cut that off. And I do have a blank detail which I'm going to be putting into the back of this. So I'm just going to put some glue just around the edges in there. I've got this detail looking like this. Just get that into the back here. So that's the back on, and then a little bit more glue just on the tab at the bottom. And this is going to go into the first hole that we can see just on top there. So it sits in like that. Now, on this partition, we've got some details to put in here. The first one is this one here. That's going to go over these main lugs. One here and one here. Perfect. Then I've got this one here. Again, 2 lugs. Put some glue on them. Put this into place. So that looks like that. Loads of tiny details. So bring over the door. And we do have large lugs this side, small lugs this side. So it's easy to see which way round this is going to go. This is going to be going into the small side here. So I'm just going to push that in. It is a really tight fit. I'm wondering whether I need to glue this. I don't think I will, because it's going to be held in by these lugs at the bottom. But that holds itself in, no problems at all there. Then I'm going to be taking this one that we created, and that's going to go into the middle. That one probably will have to glue, so let me glue that one. Just holding that into place. And then this whole thing is going to be going into the slots that we've got on this side here. So this time I am going to just dab some glue just into the points this is going to be touching the base here, and I will put this into position. Now that's gone in really easy, and I think it helped by not gluing that piece in there. But just ensuring this is all into the lugs where it needs to be. Perfect, and that is how that's looking. Really good. Last things to do, I've got one more panel on here, which is actually going to go into this square part here, which means I need to just put some glue around the edge. Get me tweezers and drop that in. Push that into place. Excellent. So that's how that's looking. That's just going to be glue on some lug there. And it's going to go into the larger tab that we see on the table there. So this one is going to go in here. Just like that. And then we've got one more detail to cut off. This one here. And I think you've guessed where this one's going to go. Right next to it, into this position here. Just straighten that up. That's good. That's how that looks. Put that to one side to let that dry, because I've got these metal leg stands now. I'm just going to cut them off, and kind of like benches by the look of it. And what I'm going to do, put some glue just on the top section there, and these will get inserted into the middle of these benches. So one there and one this side. Perfect. Again, bring over what we've been working on. These are going to go into the 2 slots that we can just see here. So I'm going to put some glue just on the bottom of these and get these in position, ensuring that they're straight, as you can see there. And with those in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. Now in the last stage, we're going to need the battery box here, because as you can see, we do have a circuit board. Let's get them open. And we've got a lot of LED lights here. And what we can do is we can actually test each one of these lights by simply taking the plug end. This is the test board, and just plugging it into the test board here and ensuring that the light comes on. Now we can do that with all of these. I don't need to take the ties off because we don't need them at this moment, but I will just double check that they're all right. Look, that one's red. This one is another white one. And then this one is another white one. So we've got 3 white, 1 red. Okay, we want to take the circuit board that we got here. This is what the circuit board looks like. That's what it looks like from the other side. This is just going to be going into this section just here, face down, so that all the plugs come out that side there. Now I do want to hold this into place. So I have got some screws here. They're held in with 4 of these screws. And then we haven't seen this for a while. Let's just bring this over. This is the main hole that we've been working on here. Now, if you see these 2 lugs on the side, this is where the board goes. It's going to go this way round, not the other way, so that it's fitting flush in that section. Again, it's the same screws that we're going to be holding this into place with. We need 2 of those. Excellent. Again, I can put that to one side. Now, when we were testing those wires before, what it wants me to do is, if it's a white one, put an L1 label on it. So I've got one here. When I put it on, we want it around about there. Not right at the end by the plug. Otherwise, we're going to have a bad time. But there. So I'm going to go through all of these wires just to see which one's white, which one's red. So that's a white one, L1. Ah, now this is the red one. The red one's going to have an L2 label on it. The only other cable I've got says S1. And that cable, if I just bring over the whole section again, it's just going to go onto this big plug that we've got here. So I'm just going to wrap it around both of these cables because it's a red and a black cable coming from that. So the L2 red LED that we've got, that's this one here. Let me just unwrap this. I'm going to be putting that into the hole just at the top here, like this. I did have a little bit of extra plastic in there, which was impeding getting this in all the way. But there we go, that's in now. Then the other side of this is going to be going down this first slot at the side here. That's going to keep that wire nice and tidy. Hopefully you can see this on one of the cameras. I'm going to take one of the white LEDs. That's going to be going into the hole just at the front there. Again, I am having to just use my scalpel to just cut out any burrs that are inside there, which will enable me to push this all the way in, just like that. Again, this wire is going to be in the wire tidy on this point just here. Then into the next lot of slots here. Hopefully the top camera is showing you this. And that's going on to the next one down here. And then the other 2 LEDs we've got are going to be going into these holes here. And in a similar way, I'm just going to be feeding the wires into the wire tidy at the side. So that's good going. Everything's plugged in. Now we get to plug some of these leads into the control board. Now the L1 leads go into sockets 1, 2 and 3. So I can get all of these put in. So there you go. That's the 3 L1 wires in. Now the L2 wire, that's the red wires going into slot 4. There you go. That's that one in. The M1 wire I've got here is going right over the other side over here into socket 5. So this M2 socket is going into socket 7. Then the M3 socket I've got here is going into socket 8, which means the last cable I've got here, which is S1, is just going into this socket just at the side here, into socket, has this got a number? Number 9. Perfect. What I did was I put my finger in there to hold this back wall in place, because you really have to push hard to get that in. All I've got then is this cable tidy, which is a clip, which is going to now tidy all of these wires up. So I'm going to take out the slack from this side, bundle the wires up, put them in the clip. I've already taken the adhesive backing off this clip, so I can get all of these in and then just stick that into place here. So pretty happy with how that's looking, and that's all there is to do in that stage. Now I was kind of hoping we could plug something in there and test all the lights, but it doesn't want us to do that yet. But that's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. See, now compared to yesterday's packs that we had, 4 stages, we had absolutely loads to do. As a matter of fact, the recording time for this is 1 hour 15 minutes, but it is looking good. As I said, this is where we're up to at the moment on the hull section with all those electrics in. Just gently put that down, and then obviously we have created this whole area here today, which is excellent. Once again, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen, but I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.